lot of times I get this question from my customers like, oh, Derek, what OneSpan's doing is very interesting, and we'd certainly love to learn more, but if I make a switch from my current vendor and e-signature provider, like how long is that gonna take? The answer there is generally on average, it's about 2 to 6 weeks. A single 2-week sprint is what most IT development teams take to implement the technology. 6 weeks is maybe if they, maybe are limited on their bandwidth or access to resources. That said, if speed is what you need, speed is what we give you. And we have this whole team of professional services who we can hire on to help expedite that integration work in instances where time is of the essence. If you're watching this right now and you think might be interesting, but I don't know if it's for me, just ask yourself a couple questions like, what are you doing today to really enable your business to conduct business remotely? If we ended up going back to lockdown, would you actually be able to keep the lights on and keep all departments operating on all cylinders across sales, operations, HR, and new employee onboarding, procurement? What are you doing in the event, your printer ever broke down? You didn't have access to a scanner. You're in front of the client, they're ready to sign on the dotted line, but you don't have a pen. And in fact, you don't even have the contract, it's digitally. How are you delivering that? How are you making sure that they are who they say they are when they sign that? That's the big question I would ask. Is in today's digital first world where you have emerging threats, the likes of deep fakes, how do you really know who you're talking to on the other end of that screen is who they claim to be? You might have the most high value agreement to present to them. Maybe it's a mortgage. Most of those organizations have regulatory guidance that states they need to proof their customer, know their customer, and ensure that they're not violating any anti-money laundering clauses. It's hard to do in a day where people don't want to leave their couch. It's hard to do in a day where you want to engage your customers through the channels they want to engage in, and it's very rarely face-to-face anymore. We can help with that. The funniest thing really I see in my market these days, a lot of the organizations I work with invest significant amounts of dollars into their brand and their image and their marketing team, only for all of their customer-facing workflows to feature someone else's brand instead of their own. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. In many instances where I see some of our competitors' brands named front and center, you know what I'm talking about. Generally, you would pay somebody to get that kind of publicity, but in most of these instances, folks are paying them just to use their service. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So if you've been working hard on your brand, and this is a problem that you see in your own business, we should talk.